Hello, my name is Frank Walsh, and I'm a student in Colorado Christian University. We're taking Law 517, which is part of the requirements for our organizational leadership course. This week for session 3 assignment, we were asked to record a response video displaying the ability to communicate how American government operates within the founding documents hierarchy. So first, when I was asked to take this course, a part of our track, I was a little intimidated. I'm not a law student. My career is, I spent 20 years in the Air Force, and I retired 3 years ago and went right into government contracts work. So my only law course besides this one was 501 with CCU, and then besides that one was in high school. I really wish that I would have took a law for my undergraduate degree, but that was not the case because I took it in information technology. However, with this course and even Law 501, I have learned quite a bit, and our course flows very well. Again, I was a little intimidated because when we found out that our instructor, our professor, was also the author of the book, we knew, you needed to pay particular attention, and it flows very well, but it's written at a higher level than I'm used to, especially for law, so I had to reread quite a few sections. What I enjoyed most from the books is the quotes at the beginning of each chapter, especially John Adams. I watched the miniseries, read his book, the books about him, and those really spoke a lot to me, especially being a conservative Christian myself. And Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, I didn't know a lot about it. I didn't know James Madison wrote a lot of the works, especially in the book. So it really opened my eyes up to a lot of things. The author's Christian views and hard-hitting points. Dr. Ellis explained, the secular ideas of our culture today and how the Supreme Court, their views and viewpoints they're more in tune with those and going on those instead of what the U.S. Constitution is and what our founding fathers built our society on. I enjoyed the passage from Dr. Ellis that comes right out and says, this is absurd. We need legislators, judges, and especially Supreme Court members who will not usurp the authority and recognize that the plain text of the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, not a majority subject's interpretation. So I, like others, there were certain things that I believed before, because that's what was told us. That's what's in the news. That's what you hear on C-SPAN and Fox News and things. They don't really say that, the Supreme Court's voting on this, and they don't really talk about the U.S. Constitution. About the U.S. Constitution doesn't say this, which I wish they would more, because a lot of us in society today, we only know what we're told, which is absurd in itself. I'm a student, I'm a professional, 23 years as a professional in space and information technology, and yet I believe what is told to me instead of digging in the book. So I do blame myself for that. It shows that we the people should read and study more than take anything out of context. In Chapter 4, The Legal Basis of Moral Constitution, Dr. Ellis says, we must understand and articulate the legitimate basis of our appeal to divine law as the only correct foundation for constitutional interpretation. This statement leads us directly into the founding documents hierarchy pyramid located on page 61 of our text. The founders intentionally rooted or grounded in divine law as the authority of basis and truth in the U.S. Constitution. The pyramid shows divine law as the foundation or cornerstone for the founding documents hierarchy, followed by legitimacy, Declaration of Independence, rationale, Federalist Papers, and supreme law, U.S. Constitution. I knew our founding fathers were Judeo-Christians, and I knew that the Constitution was based on Christianity and a conservative approach, but I didn't know it was the foundation as with divine law. I did not know that until this course, and this book has really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I'm going to learn more after this course. I'm actually looking forward to the last 2 weeks of our course. That said, Dr. Ellis states on page 64 of our text, as we will see when delving into the text of the Declaration of Independence itself, and then up the pyramid through Federalist Papers, and finally into the U.S. Constitution, the founders derived the legitimacy of the Declaration of Independence upon the foundation authority of divine law. Again, previously stated. Regarding why it is important for the U.S. Constitution to have legitimate authority in divine law, if the U.S. Constitution does not have legitimacy, authority in divine law, then our country coincides with the social contract theory, which is another thing I had no idea before this course. Dr. Ellis defines the social contract theory as society. Dr. Ellis defines in her book, the social contract theory as society has no inherent value or moral principles except that which is given to it by man's choice and mutual assent in this crude cost-benefit social relationship. This is what we see today with our Supreme Court justices and government officials, assuming their adjudication is in the best interest of every American. Few individuals speak for the entire U.S. population. They do this on how they interpret the U.S. Constitution instead of how the Constitution was written as first devised by our founding fathers. I've already learned so much in this course, and I wish I would have taken this in an undergraduate course long before, but I will continue learning about this subject. It's funny because I discussed this course with my wife. She's attending CCU, going for her MBA. I'm not sure if this course is part of it, but she's already read a little bit of this book and she's enjoyed it. She with me, she's a finance person and I'm an IT person, so we talk amongst ourselves. It's actually funny. When we were reading the chapter on Declaration of Independence, I didn't know that it was nicknamed the Great American Complaint, and I asked her if she knew that, and she didn't know why. But then you think Declaration of Independence, we're declaring, so it makes sense in the end. So I leave this with Psalm 119, 71 through 73 says, "It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I may learn your statutes. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Your hands made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding that I may learn your commandments." Thank you and have a blessed week.